The Strait of Hormuz is 21 nautical miles wide at its narrowest point, and at 0933 local time, the vessel moving through that narrowest point is the MV Sounion Star, a Liberian-flagged crude oil tanker displacing 162,000 tons fully loaded, making 8 knots on the standard westbound traffic separation scheme lane toward the Gulf of Oman. Her cargo is 2.1 million barrels of Iraqi crude bound for Rotterdam. Her crew is 23 Filipino and Indian nationals who have been at sea for 41 days. Her master has transited the Strait of Hormuz 67 times in 18 years of command. He knows this water. He knows the traffic. He does not, at 0933 local, know about the 7 fast patrol craft that have been sitting behind a coastal radar shadow on the Iranian side of the strait since 700 local, waiting. The IRGCN commander running this operation has done his homework. Not enough of it, as we'll discuss, but a genuine amount. He has studied the Iranian seizures of 2019, 2021, and 2023. He has identified what worked: speed, surprise, and the selection of vessels transiting without close naval escort. He has identified what was different about the vessels that were not seized: the presence of a U.S. Navy warship within rapid response distance. His plan accounts for this. The Sounion Star is, by his intelligence picture, transiting a sector of the strait where USS McFaul, DDG-87, the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, operating as the escort presence for the westbound traffic lane today, is currently 14 nautical miles to the southwest, having completed a routine check on a bulk carrier that reported a navigation equipment malfunction. 14 nautical miles is a 3-minute gap at 40 knots for his fast patrol craft. 3 minutes is enough time to get his boarding party onto the Sounion Star and make the seizure a fait accompli before McFaul can respond effectively. This calculation is wrong in 3 specific ways, and all 3 ways involve information the IRGCN commander does not have. The first way: USS McFaul is not 14 nautical miles southwest of the Sounion Star. She is 11 nautical miles southwest because the bulk carrier's navigation malfunction resolved faster than expected, and McFaul completed her check 4 minutes ahead of the original schedule. The second way: McFaul's MH-60R helicopter, callsign Wolf 1, is airborne. It has been airborne since 0845 local, running a surface surveillance pattern ahead of the westbound traffic lane. At 9:33 local, Wolf 1 is 9 nautical miles northeast of McFaul, which puts it approximately 6 nautical miles southwest of the Sounion Star's current position, which puts it approximately 8 nautical miles from the coastal radar shadow where the 7 IRGCN fast patrol craft are about to emerge. Wolf 1's AN/A PS-147 radar, operating in maritime surface search mode, has been painting the Iranian coastline at regular intervals throughout its patrol and has been watching a cluster of surface contacts in the coastal radar shadow for the past 41 minutes. The third way: the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye, orbiting at 23,000 feet over the central Gulf of Oman, has had the 7 IRGCN fast patrol craft in track since they arrived at their waiting position at 700 local. The E-2D's AN/A PY-9 radar does not have radar shadows. The coastal terrain that blocks McFaul's surface search radar from seeing into the Iranian coastal waters does not block a sensor operating at 23,000 feet, with a look-down capability designed to track fast-moving contacts against land clutter. The 7 fast patrol craft have been in the E-2D's track for 2 hours and 33 minutes. Their track history, their waiting behavior, their position relative to the westbound traffic lane, and the timing correlation with the Sounion Star's approach to the shadow area has been flagged and disseminated to McFaul via Link 16 since 0904 local, when the E-2D's mission crew commander generated an advisory noting that the contact group was positioned with geometry consistent with a maritime interception operation. McFaul has been in heightened readiness since 0904 local. The commanding officer has been on the bridge since 0907 local. Wolf 1 has been repositioned to a forward surveillance position since 0911 local. The tactical action officer has pre-computed intercept vectors for all 7 contacts, assuming a high-speed dash toward the westbound traffic lane. He has run this calculation twice and confirmed it both times. At 9:33 local, the IRGCN commander gives the order. All 7 fast patrol craft emerge from the coastal radar shadow at maximum speed. They are Seraj-class vessels, 42 knots, low freeboard, armed with heavy machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades. The formation splits immediately into 2 groups as planned. 4 craft heading for the Sounion Star on an intercept bearing. 3 craft taking a blocking position between the tanker and the direction from which they expect McFaul to approach. The blocking element is intended to buy the boarding party 4 additional minutes. This is a sophisticated tactical plan. The IRGCN commander has thought about the geometry. He has thought about the timing. He has not thought about Wolf 1, which is already at his 12 o'clock and climbing to improve its surveillance geometry over the formation. Wolf 1's crew reports the emergence of 7 contacts to McFaul in 14 seconds. Not because 14 seconds is impressive, though it is, but because Wolf 1's crew has been watching the radar shadow for 41 minutes and had the word ready before the contacts appeared. The tactical action officer on McFaul acknowledges. He already has it. The E-2D disseminated the movement simultaneously. McFaul comes to full power at 09:33:22 local. 22 seconds after the IRGCN formation emerged. She is accelerating from 12 knots toward 31 knots. Her bow wave builds. At 11 nautical miles at 31 knots, McFaul's time to the Sounion Star's position is approximately 21 minutes. The 4 IRGCN craft heading for the tanker are making 42 knots from a starting position of approximately 9 nautical miles. Their time to the Sounion Star is approximately 13 minutes. The blocking element will be in position by the time the boarding party reaches the tanker. The math is not in McFaul's favor for physical interposition. This is acknowledged. This is also not the plan. The plan is Wolf 1. At 09:34 local, Wolf 1 breaks from its surveillance position and descends to 400 feet on an intercept heading for the 4 craft approaching the Sounion Star. The MI-60R is carrying an M240 door gun, and the crew chief has it deployed. Wolf 1 is not going to engage the IRGCN craft. The rules of engagement for this scenario require a positive demonstration of hostile intent before weapons employment, and fast patrol craft moving toward a civilian tanker, while consistent with a seizure operation, have not yet crossed the legal threshold. What Wolf 1 is going to do is get between the boarding party and the tanker, make itself impossible to ignore, and force the IRGCN commander to make a decision under observation that will be recorded in its entirety. The Sounion Star's master receives a radio call from Wolf 1 at 09:35 local. The call is on Channel 16, the International Maritime Distress Frequency, and its content is direct. This is the United States Navy. You have 7 fast patrol craft approaching your vessel. Maintain your course and speed. Do not stop. Do not comply with any instructions to heave to. The master, who has 67 transits of this strait and a crew of 23 people he is responsible for, acknowledges. He maintains course and speed. He sounds the ship's alarm to alert his crew. He reaches for his satellite phone to call his company's maritime security desk. The IRGCN commander, watching through binoculars from the lead patrol craft, sees Wolf 1 descend to 400 feet and take up a position ahead of his boarding group. He has not planned for a helicopter at 400 feet between his boarding party and the target. He planned for a helicopter that would require McFaul to be within visual range, and McFaul is 11 nautical miles away. He did not plan for a helicopter that operates independently of the ship that can be 11 nautical miles from McFaul and 6 nautical miles from the tanker simultaneously, that is being directed by a surface picture fed from the E2D that sees everything he is doing in real time. Wolf 1's FLIR system is recording everything: the formation geometry, the approach vectors, the weapons visible on the patrol craft decks, all of it, recording and transmitting live to McFaul, to 5th Fleet, to the Joint Operations Center in Bahrain, and to the E2D, which is relaying the feed to multiple addressees in the intelligence community. The 7 IRGCN patrol craft are being photographed, individually, hull number by hull number, in the kind of detail that allows positive identification of specific vessels, specific crew positions, and the specific weapons configuration of each hull. The Seraj-class database is being updated in real time. At 9:37 local, the blocking element of 3 IRGCN craft takes up its position between the Sounion Star's projected track and the bearing to McFaul. From the IRGCN commander's perspective, this position accomplishes 2 things. It physically places hulls in the path of McFaul's approach, forcing the destroyer to either stop or maneuver around them, and it communicates visually that the IRGCN is willing to contest McFaul's response. From McFaul's tactical action officer's perspective, it accomplishes something different. It places 3 clearly identified IRGCN military vessels in international waters in a blocking configuration that is documented, recorded, and legally significant in a way that a later diplomatic note will need to address. McFaul's SLQ-32 is running. The 7 patrol craft are emitting on navigation radars. 2 of the Seraj hulls, the lead elements of the boarding group, have activated what appears to be a fire control radar in a pre-engagement scan configuration. The SLQ-32 identifies the emission in 0.3 seconds. The Aegis track priority for those 2 hulls updates. The tactical action officer notes the fire control radar activation. He notes it with the specific quality of attention it deserves. This is the emission that, in the rules of engagement framework, begins the sequence toward a demonstration of hostile intent. It is not yet a hostile act. It is a precursor. He annotates the log. He reports to the commanding officer. The commanding officer orders McFaul to sound her horn. 3 short blasts, the maritime signal for a vessel maneuvering under special circumstances, and to transmit on Channel 16. All vessels in the vicinity of the westbound traffic lane. This is USS McFaul, a United States Navy warship conducting maritime security operations. Vessels approaching the MV Sounion Star are directed to reverse course immediately. The transmission is recorded by every vessel within radio range, which in the Strait of Hormuz at 9:37 local means approximately 40 vessels. At 9:38 local, the 4 craft of the boarding group are 6 nautical miles from the Sounion Star. They are still at maximum speed. Wolf 1 is at 400 feet, 1.4 nautical miles ahead of the lead boarding craft, its FLIR locked on the formation. The crew chief's M240 is deployed and pointed at the lead craft in a configuration that is not ambiguous about its purpose. The lead craft's skipper is looking at a helicopter 1.4 nautical miles ahead of him, a destroyer accelerating at 31 knots, 11 nautical miles to his southwest, and a blocking element behind him that is now positioned in a geometry that has effectively boxed the boarding group between Wolf 1 and McFaul. He is also looking at the Sounion Star, which is maintaining course and speed exactly as the U.S. Navy instructed, which means the tanker is not going to cooperate with the seizure by heaving to. A tanker at 8 knots that does not heave to presents a boarding challenge that the IRGCN's fast patrol craft are designed to manage. Grappling hooks, boarding ladders, the speed differential to match the tanker's pace and put men on deck. But matching an 8-knot tanker's speed while a helicopter at 400 feet is recording every action and a destroyer is closing at 31 knots, is a different operational environment than the IRGCN's 2019 and 2021 seizures, which were conducted with no helicopter present and no destroyer within 7 nautical miles. The IRGCN commander makes a radio call at 0939 local. The call is on an encrypted military frequency. The SLQ-32 logs the transmission metadata. The call is to his shore headquarters, IRGCN Maritime Command at Bandar Abbas. The call lasts 28 seconds. 28 seconds is long enough to ask a question and receive an answer that involves some deliberation. The formation does not change its behavior during the call. The formation changes its behavior 2 minutes after the call ends. At 9:41 local, the 4 craft of the boarding group begin a deceleration. Not a sharp course reversal, not yet, but a reduction in speed from 42 knots to approximately 22 knots. The change is visible on McFaul's surface radar immediately. The Tactical Action Officer notes the speed change. Wolf 1 notes the speed change. The E2D notes the speed change. The change is consistent with an operator who has received a direction to reconsider his approach without yet being told to abort. At 0942 local, McFaul comes to within 8 nautical miles of the Sounion Star. The geometry has shifted. At 8 nautical miles, at 31 knots, McFaul is 4 minutes from the tanker. The 4 boarding craft, decelerating, are now 5 nautical miles from the tanker. The 8-minute window the IRGCN commander originally calculated has compressed to a situation where McFaul reaches the tanker before his boarding party completes his approach. The blocking element, 3 craft positioned between McFaul and the tanker, is now directly in McFaul's approach track. McFaul has not altered course. The blocking element breaks at 0943 local. The 3 vessels, which have been holding their position with the specific confidence of craft that believed the destroyer would have to stop or maneuver around them, observe that the destroyer is not stopping and is not maneuvering around them. She is maintaining course and speed with the specific indifference of 9,500 tons moving at 31 knots toward a position currently occupied by 3 vessels that displace 80 tons each. The 3 craft execute independent course changes, all to port, breaking northeast toward the Iranian coastline, in a sequence that takes 11 seconds and is not what coordinated tactical withdrawal looks like and is very much what 11 seconds of everyone make their own decision looks like. Wolf 1 photographs all 3 braking maneuvers in FLIR and EO simultaneously. At 0944 local, the 4 boarding craft complete their reversal. All 4 are now heading northeast at 30 knots. The Sounion Star is maintaining course. Wolf 1 is escorting the formation's withdrawal from a position that keeps its FLIR on the retreating craft for the maximum possible duration. The entire attempted seizure, from the emergence of the 7 craft from the coastal radar shadow to the reversal of the last boarding element, has lasted 11 minutes. McFaul comes alongside the Sounion Star at 0951 local. The commanding officer speaks with the master via channel 16. The master reports all crew accounted for, no boarding, no damage. His voice, the tactical action officer will note in the after-action report, is entirely composed. The specific composure of someone who maintained course and speed on instructions they chose to trust and whose trust was validated. The master thanks McFaul. The tactical action officer acknowledges. He is already beginning the after-action log. Wolf 1 recovers aboard McFaul at 10:09 local. The crew chief's post-mission debrief runs 17 pages. 17 pages because Wolf 1 recorded 11 minutes of continuous FLIR and EO footage of 7 IRGCN fast patrol craft conducting an attempted tanker seizure in the Strait of Hormuz in broad daylight. And 17 pages is approximately what it takes to document hull numbers, crew positions, weapons configurations, approach vectors, deceleration timings, and the specific sequence of the blocking element's 11-second non-coordinated withdrawal. The Navy's intelligence community will find the 17 pages useful. The lawyers at the UN who draft the U.S. response to Iran's inevitable diplomatic framing of this encounter will find several pages of it particularly useful. The SLQ-32's collection from 11 minutes of close observation of 7 IRGCN patrol craft in an operational scenario has produced a data set that adds 12 new entries to the Seraj-class operational behavior profile. The fire control radar activation by the 2 lead boarding craft, which reached the pre-engagement scan mode before the deceleration order, has generated an operational data point that was previously only collected from exercises. The specific transition timing between navigation radar mode and fire control scan mode under operational pressure with a hostile helicopter present and a destroyer inbound is different from the transition timing in exercise conditions. The difference is characterized and in the library by 1400 local. The total cost accounting for this encounter has a quality that is different from the missile and drone scenarios. McFaul burned approximately $18,000 in additional fuel by accelerating to 31 knots for 20 minutes. Wolf 1's flight hours and fuel for the surveillance and intercept phase add approximately $22,000. Total additional U.S. operational cost attributable to the IRGCN operation, approximately $40,000. The IRGCN's operational cost, 7 fast patrol craft, crew time, fuel for high-speed sortie, and the organizational cost of the planning and authorization chain is approximately $45,000 to $60,000. The IRGCN spent more money than the U.S. spent responding to them and did not achieve the seizure they planned, and provided 11 minutes of operational footage of their patrol craft in a live intercept scenario and disclosed their fire control radar operational activation profile, and produced a 17-page crew debrief that will inform U.S. maritime security operations in the Strait for the next several years. By 1200 local, the Iranian Foreign Ministry has characterized the incident as a routine IRGCN maritime patrol operation in Iranian sovereign waters that was aggressively interfered with by a U.S. Navy warship conducting illegal operations in the Strait. The presence of the Sounion Star, which was in the internationally recognized westbound traffic separation scheme lane, which is as far from Iranian sovereign waters as it is possible to be in the Strait while still being in the Strait, is described as a vessel that had entered Iranian territorial waters and was being inspected by IRGCN forces when USS McFaul intervened. The diplomatic framing requires the Sounion Star to have been in a different location than it actually was, which is the kind of framing that works until the navigation records, the AIS data, the E2D's track history, and Wolf 1's 17 pages of FLIR and EO documentation are compiled into a counterbrief. The counterbrief is being compiled. It will be complete before the Iranian Foreign Ministry's note has been distributed to the relevant UN committees. The Sounion Star continues westbound through the Gulf of Oman. Her master files his incident report with the Liberian Maritime Authority, with the IMO, and with his company's maritime security desk. The report is specific, factual, and includes the Channel 16 recording of his communications with USS McFaul and Wolf 1. The recording is clear. The instructions were followed. The crew is safe. The cargo is intact. 23 people who had been at sea for 41 days continued toward Rotterdam without leaving their watch stations. The most significant decision any of them made was to maintain course and speed when a U.S. Navy helicopter told them to. It was the right decision. The documentation showing it was the right decision is in the intelligence archive, the legal counter brief, and the 17-page Wolf 1 crew debrief simultaneously. The IRGCN will plan another operation. They always do. The next planning cell that studies the Strait of Hormuz interception geometry will have access to whatever the IRGCN tells them about this encounter. The next U.S. maritime security rotation in the Strait will have access to the 12 new Seraj-class behavioral profile entries, the fire control radar activation profile, the 17-page debrief, and the annotated FLIR footage. These are different qualities of institutional learning. One of them will be more current than the other when the next operation begins. It always is. Bye for now.